Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Strompcast podcast. Episode 214. As you know, I don't do these things, bro. Shout out Sam. Sam couldn't make it today, so I'll be your host today. Starting off with my great panel as always. Starting off with my guy to my right, Chris. How you doing, brother?
Doing good. Fresh off a big win. Benfica and us were playing at the same day, right? A little bit delayed. So I was hoping, obviously that we would be able to have an opportunity to gain some ground. I left work. It was 1-0 Benfica. Drove home, got home. Like 15 minutes later, it's 2-1. So, for about 10 minutes there, I thought that something could happen. But, I'll take just keeping it the same. 8-0. Braga game forgotten. Now we're only looking forward now.
Facts. My dad also said that Benfica's first goal seemed offside. So I don't know if I never watched the highlights.
I didn't see it.
No, it was good. It was fine. It was the bike. It was the weird Cabral bike.
Oh, the makeshift bicycle kick.
It is a bike.
It's a bicycle. It's a little bit. It was just awkward the way the ball.
It's awkward.
It's
right? Not a. Yeah, it's not.
It's a good goal. It's a good goal still.
Fair enough. I have to watch the highlights, but
I was just
like this morning.
Yeah, I'm not going to criticize it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull that shit off.
And the guy who couldn't pull that shit off, Richard.
It's your boy. Yeah, good. Huge win. It was a close game till it started. They had us in warm-ups. Yeah, I was working, so I come out after workout. I was able to watch second half. My dad was watching. I walk out and I go, "What's the score?" And he just kind of does one of these gesture to TV. I went, "Holy shit!" It was 5-0. I'm like, "What the fuck got into these boys?" Yeah, huge, great win. We're never complaining about those. We're not the Campione d'Inverno, but who fucking cares about that anyways? Doesn't matter. Useless trophy unless you win it. I digress. No, good game. Big win. It was nice. Like Chris said, it would have been nice if Benfica could have dropped a point or two, but it is what it is. We just got to make the games we're not playing against them count, and we just got to rely on ourselves. We're still first by a point and go from there. And if you get some luck along the way, great, it happens. But we're in a title fight as of this recording, so that's more than I think some of us expected heading into this season.
Facts.
Yeah,
we'll get into that game in just a second. Just a quick shout out to Sam who couldn't make it today. Yeah. More importantly, follow the pod at Alvalade. They're all things Alvalade on Twitter or on X and all the other platforms. Let me bring up the 11 as always. Where is it? There it is here. So the 11 that put 8 past Casa Pia with a 0.3 XG. Madness. And Adan almost gave him a goal, which I'm sure we're going to talk about soon. In net, we had Adan in net, Inácio Coates and Quaresma in the back line, Nuno Santos and Isgaio at the wing-back positions, Pot Hulman in the midfield, Trincão, Gyökeres, Edwards up top, substitutions of Bragança, Paulinho, Jenny, Matheus Reis, and Sugu. 2 goals from Gyökeres, 2 goals from Trincão, 2 goals from Coates, a goal from Pot and from Jenny as well. Chris, I'll start it off with you, dude. What were your thoughts on this game? And did you predict this for the league predictions? Or I'm sure we all did, right?
We all did. You did.
I only predicted 2-0.
I only predicted 3. We all predicted the right win and a shutout, a clean sheet.
Yeah.
None of us. I think we all had the scorers too.
I was just hoping that. Yeah, I had Gyökeres and Trincão. I went with Gyökeres because he's tough to bet against in any game. And I went with Trincão because he's been rolling, right? He's been in good form. I think it is now 5 straight or 4 straight games with a goal, at least for the league.
Yeah.
So, I was just hoping that Trincão would get on the score sheet, and he ended up getting on it twice.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the goals, at least in the second half especially, were really pretty nice, honestly.
Really nice goals.
Some nice goals, really a couple outside the box bangers. Casa Pia just kind of embarrassed themselves. Did not leave a good impression of themselves this season. It's not really going that well for them. Another team that's not going that well for is Vizela, and I think that Casa Pia and Vizela are kind of rising to the power rankings of teams likely to go down. It seems like it changes like every month or so. There's like a new team that's just like so bad all of a sudden.
This year especially, I find.
So it'll probably change in another month or two, and by the end of the season, it'll probably change 3 or 4 more times. But yeah, I mean, Vizela, they conceded 5 to us. They conceded 5 again to Aruca. I mean, it's bad. It's bad over there. But yeah, back to this game. I mean, they never had a chance. There's almost barely anything to break down because the second half was just pedestrian. Didn't need
it was on. They were on autopilot.
It didn't need to be anything. It was 5-0. Really good. Yeah, I mean, it's efficient finishing.
Finally,
it was like when we had 5, the XG was 2. I mean, so it's still good finishing. The second Gyökeres goal, I mean, it's a nice pass from Pot, but I mean, it goes through the guy's legs, right? Maybe a bit of luck there. But you know, everything was going our way yesterday. So no complaints. The only things that I have to say is even in a game like this, as Gaio still looks horrible.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that he's got out of the starting 11, he still has the lowest goal point. And of the 5 substitutes,
he couldn't complete a cross. Still, I mean,
and of the 5 subs, he still didn't get a grade. Like Asugo didn't get a rating, and Paulinho got a 5.0. Like even the subs all got a higher rating than him.
Just so unimpressive. Even when he's like playing free, because he probably, if this is a normal game, all of the balls he hits in the box, he probably passes it backwards 75% of the time.
Yes,
but he's like, oh, we're winning big. I'm feeling myself. Like I'm gonna send it in the box, and it's never a good ball. And then Adan faced literally 1 half chance in the first half, and almost managed to throw it.
Almost gave it up.
Which is hilarious. But yeah, I mean, what more can you say? 10.0 from Gyökeres. This is not even his best game, right?
No, I thought
his best game. He had 2 goals.
Won a penalty.
Padded the stats for sure. Yeah. But, I mean, 10.0 and it's not even his best game.
Crazy.
Which only means, like, how good has this guy been since he's come? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Rich, take it away, brother.
Like Chris said, there's not really much to break down and analyze. Like, it's an 8-0 win. Yeah, they came out flying, like, right out of the gate. Like, they scored only a few minutes in. It was Kawach, I believe. If I get goal scorers confused, I'm sorry. There was a lot of them. If I get this confused, who scored when?
No, it was Kawach first, yeah.
Yeah, Kawach had one in either half. Actually had a couple chances. Could have had a hat trick.
Yeah.
Realistically.
You could also argue that he stole Gyökeres' hat trick with his second goal.
Yeah, I was going to say his second one was it. If he didn't hit it, Gyökeres was going to hit it anyways.
Low key, Jenny could have even gotten the ball. It seemed like it was destined for the back.
I think it was
going. Yeah, it was curving. It was curving towards the net. It probably goes in, to be honest.
I think at the worst case scenario, it like hits the inside of the post and still kind of dinks in. Jenny looked really good on his return. I thought he was phenomenal. He had a goal and an assist. Mateus Reis with a rare assist off the bench. But Bragazza came
out. Nice assist, dude.
Nice
left the guy in the
it was a good guy. It was a good ball. It was a really good ball. Quaresma looked good starting. I thought he looked good.
Quaresma had a good game.
Yeah, this was one of his better games for sure. Edwards had a good game, and I'm pissed because I picked him to score and he didn't score. He was the one guy who didn't score in all of our predictions.
Bro, you picked a goal scorer who didn't score. Embarrassing.
In an 8-0 win.
Yeah, and I still finished tied with you on points this week. Imagine if
I should have hit -2 for both my guys.
Imagine if I had picked literally anybody else on the pitch. What I could have done. Yeah, it's nice to see Trincao playing really well as well. He's had a really good month. Looks like second half Trincao might be an actual thing. Second half of season Trincao, he's starting to cook. Because I thought even in the Braga game he played well, but it was just tough because like no one could finish. But yeah, this game he scores 2. The second one's a really nice goal. It's brilliant. That's going to be going in his mixtape for sure in the comps. Gyökeres, there's not much else to say. Kawach, there's not too much to say. He looked good. Pot looked good. Nuno Sancho got an assist. He looked fun. No one looked bad outside of his Gaio, kind of.
The penalty also on Nuno Sancho, just before the penalty, the little cueca he did to then
Yeah.
send Gyökeres through. Oh my
Yeah,
lord!
that was good. That's like Nuno Santos when he's actually
Prime
doing
Nuno
balling
Santos.
out stuff. That was
Yeah,
good.
when his hair was like still there in the front, just coming off in the back.
Yeah, he just had that lake in the back of his head.
Yeah.
Pre-Slim. So pre-Slim Shady Nuno Santos came out for this one.
Yeah.
There's not much else to add. It's an 8-0 win. It's tough to really pick anything apart, really. Like they won by a touchdown and a safety.
And
football nerds.
but I mean, Casa Pia really didn't even reach the goal.
Barely.
They had like 1.5 chance.
Yeah, the one where the dude scuffed the header.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was probably a better chance than the one that actually got directed towards the target.
Yeah, there's the one that like it comes to it and he kind of bobbles it a bit, but like he immediately smothers it because it's so close to him. But that's really it. Like no real complaints. It's an 8-0 win. There's not much to add for this one. If this is like a 2-1 nail biter or something, we'd probably have a lot more to say. We didn't even have like an offside lines conversation this week, which is nice.
There was the one goal where Bragança got the assist that we were like hesitant on, but I mean clearly onside as well.
Yeah, they weren't quite sure about it. They went back, look, which I get because it was close.
Yeah.
But they ended up being fine with it. So yeah. Danny, take it away.
Yeah, man. Like you guys said, there's not much to say, especially when it's an 8-0 win. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like everybody played well. Like nothing to like pinpoint out or anything like that. Nice to have Jenny back. Sad for Mozambique. But I mean, Angola and Cape Verde so far are carrying the flag for the pull-ups. So
how's Cote d'Ivoire doing with Diamande? I haven't checked yet.
So yesterday they won on pens against Senegal.
They did. That's right. So they're into the quarter.
But Diomande's been on the bench, so he hasn't even been playing.
Well, at least he's getting arrested then.
Yeah, but Amorim brings up a good point where he says, it's frustrating because like he's now also like getting out of rhythm too.
I
got that. Take him a minute.
I got that.
But at the same time,
both sides of the coin, right? Because he's probably going to be playing a lot of games down the stretch too. I think if he gets like a week off or a week and a half off, it's not the end of the world.
Especially because Quaresma's playing amazing. If Quaresma was not playing well and St. Juste, that we'll get into in just a little bit,
bro,
then we'd be like,
well, we got to get into St. Juste after you break down the game, please.
Yeah, and then but if that was the case, then we'd be like, biting our nails, like waiting for Diomande to come back, at any point. But with Quaresma, like Chris said,
which by the way, I don't know if he's hurt or not, to be honest. Like
St. Juste,
he doesn't even dress for their games. The last 2 games, he hasn't dressed.
Yeah, he was a healthy scratch this game.
They said no. So Amorim said yesterday that he wasn't called up for the game because he's felt something on his foot. So they decided not to bring him up until he's fully healthy.
No, I'm talking Diomande.
Oh, Diomande. Oh, Diomande. I have no idea. I have no idea either.
I think it's very odd that he hasn't dressed for the last 2 Ivory Coast games.
Yeah, me too. But hey, if Premier League teams are watching, which I know they all are, this guy can't even get in the Cote d'Ivoire team. Not worth it.
Not worth the money.
Save your money. Buy Ricardo Isgaio instead. He's always starting for Sporting.
Yeah, he's a week in, week out.
He's always fit, bro. He's never been hurt.
He's never been
Or
hurt.
even better, if you want to spend that money, go to Benfica, take Antonio Silva from them. That's much better investment. For sure won't flop because Benfica players don't flop. Anyways.
Never. Not even once.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying, in this game, nothing much to talk about. The one thing I want to address is just the directness, especially on the third goal. I think Trincão wins the ball back. Inácio gets it. Pot makes a run forward. Inácio just sends Pot through. Pot just, smashes in the middle. Gyökeres by himself. Embarrassing defending if I'm a Casa Pia
fan. It takes a touch off the defender too on the third ball from Pot. It still ends up in pretty much perfect position for Gyökeres.
Exactly. But that's one thing I've loved from this team that I don't think we've had in years past with even with under Amorim. Amorim likes to build up play and everything like that, but now we have those killer balls that we can play and it's beautiful. Human with an assist could have got a goal, could have got 2 goals maybe.
Yeah, he was kind of robbed on the one.
He's Honestly, he's averaging over 1 shot outside the 18 per game.
Well,
and they're wild too, bro.
You got that great one last game, 45 yards out or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, dude, that was fucked.
It's
funny when it's not like a critical decision.
Exactly. If it was something like, if this was like a closer game, I'd be pissed.
I'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. But yeah, man, a perfect response from a game where we should have beaten Braga 8-0.
It could have it could have been like 4-0 at the half against Braga. Easy.
Exactly. I mean, four shots or 3 shots off the post or the bar, right? So it was a great response.
Yeah.
We can finish off the goals, and it gives us a bit of confidence after not winning the League Cup. And but at the same time, let's not get it too ahead of ourselves. It's still only 3 points. This is good for goal difference if it comes down to it, but nothing more than that. We're still only 1 point ahead of Benfica. Benfica seem to be on a good streak. They're the Brazilian kid, 3 goals in 4 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Porto seem to be scoring goals like it's nothing nowadays. Taremi goes away. They learn how to score goals. So, things are, and Braga just won a League Cup. They lucked their way into a League Cup, but they still won it nonetheless. Shout out
they
to
almost didn't in the final too.
Oh,
like they were pretty.
I wanted Estoril to win on penalty.
I think a lot of people wanted Estoril to win.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
To Dave Pereira, by the way.
Shout out Dave though.
Shout out Dave. But yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask man of the match. I mean, I know it's tough because like the whole team played well. But
I'll go Kowach because it was his 350th appearance for the club.
Yeah.
So I'll give it to him just because it was a nice mile. It was a great. You couldn't ask for better for a milestone game. It was perfect defensively, pretty much. Yeah. Eddie had 2 goals, could have had a hat trick. I'll give it to him for just that little sentimental added.
It has to be mentioned too. Kowach came back to the team, and we've conceded a lot less goals as well. So he gets a lot of flack. And I don't quite understand exactly why. I understand his knee is going, but even with that, he's still one of our, our best defender, no doubt.
Yeah.
Chris, go ahead. Man of the match.
Kowach.
Yeah. I'll be a little different. I'll give some love to Trincão, because that second goal is a banger. And that Jenny goal, oh my God! Shout out Jenny.
Yeah, that was a really good goal from Jenny.
We kind of already touched on St. Juste. There was a rumor going around that St. Juste might go to PSV on loan. Rich, what were your thoughts on that? Do you think that's a good loan for us in general?
St. Juste to PSV.
I believe it was PSV, if I'm not mistaken. Give me a second here.
It's tough to say. It's a good team. It's at least a lateral move, like in terms of league, and it's probably a bit of a tougher league than ours if we're being really honest with ourselves. I just don't really have a strong opinion, unfortunately, on this. It's just kind of is there. I mean, if he finds some form for them and they want to, buy him, then yeah, I guess we recoup some of the investment. I'm really rooting for the guy. But, you can't count on a guy when he's hurt like 60% of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can count on him for like, if you look at a month-to-month basis, you're lucky if you can count on him for like 2 or 3 games a month, if that. Right? Like it's tough. I really like the guy. I think when he's healthy, he is one of our best defenders, period. But if he's not healthy, you can't rely on him. And that's not like his fault. Like you can't blame a guy for bad luck necessarily, but it is what it is. Like if he goes on loan, cool. Maybe we recoup some investment. Maybe he finds some confidence, some form. Who knows? But I don't know. He's 20. He's 26, 27 now. It might be time. Like it might be time to write him off soon. Like I'm not willing to say it yet, but I think at the end of the season, if we haven't been able to see any sustained like game time and form, yeah, we might need to just kind of cut our losses. And it's not that it was a bad signing; it's just an unlucky signing, right? Like,
yeah,
that's kind of how I see it. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I don't know, Chris. What do you think? Because maybe I'm off base here. I don't think it's gonna do much for him.
No, it seems like. Yeah, I mean, it seems like we should just play him when he gets healthy, enjoy the 2 games, and then he's gonna be done. Because also, like, he's like, he has like these good games, like every now and again. Like, for example, like the Arsenal game last season comes to mind. But he can only have a good game like that if he's had like 3, 4, 5 games before it to like get back in the swing of things.
Yeah.
And oftentimes in those 4 or 5 games, he doesn't ever get to have that big game because he just gets hurt again before like his form kind of like culminates in a great performance. So it's like, yeah, you really can't count on him for anything. You want to manage his minutes so much, but he literally constantly gets hurt just in training, not even playing like strenuous like first team minutes or anything. I think his last 2 injuries have been training. So it's like, what are you even supposed to do? He can't play, he can't train. Just keep him in bubble wrap and then break him out for like a Porto game or something, and then just wrap him back up if he survives after. I don't really know what to do. I mean, you almost want to just send him on loan just to see if he could play for somebody.
Does.
Like, let's see what he does. Maybe it's like the grass here or something.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't even get why anyone would even want him, to be honest. Because it's like 6-month loan, PSV Eindhoven. It's like, how many games do they actually expect him to play?
Yeah.
5?
Yeah.
More? Like, and you don't want to bring him in. It's like, oh, we need a center back. Let's bring him in. It's like, in 2 weeks, you're going to be in the same position you're at right now or sooner.
Yeah, like you're going to be like, what are you going to do? In 2 weeks, you're back to where you started.
Yeah, it's like as if you didn't make the transfer in the first place. So, yeah, I honestly, like, I mean, I think that the PSV move was rejected before this latest injury by a couple days. But I kind of, like, think that, like, a loan move anywhere would be a fine move because it's like he's not playing here. So maybe he can do something else somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I truly don't know what the solution is because he gets injured in practice as much or as more than he gets injured in games.
Yeah. There is no solution to it, right? At the end of the day.
Because then when he gets injured, he's out for like a month minimum, if not.
It's not like he's out for like he's out for like a couple days or like he's out for a week or so. It's like a month almost every time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sort of getting fed up with the situation as well.
Yeah.
I'm sort of leaning more towards a loan. I don't know if that comes with an option to buy or not and how high we put it to buy.
I don't think you can get away with anything close to what we paid for him.
Put it at what we paid because if we recoup that investment, it's probably.
But what team would be crazy enough to take that? If we can even break even, that's
we just gotta hope that he somehow stays healthy enough for 6 months for someone.
Is there any oil claw like Saudi team that doesn't know what they're doing that would be willing to? Maybe
low key. I mean, a Saudi team might take him. They're not as rough over there.
Someone will take him. I just don't know if they'll pay $10 million for him.
Yeah, I just don't know if they'll pay what we pay. Like, I don't know if we're gonna recoup all that money. Yeah. We might get like 70 or 80% of that fee if he plays well, but I don't think we're recouping or making a profit on it as of today, as of where it stands.
Yeah, which is sad because, like you said, Rich, it's not a bad signing. It's just
it's extremely unlucky, right?
Yeah. Let me go quickly to the Twitter questions. We'll start with our boy Nunu Gabriel. Do you guys really think RA will leave if we don't win any trophies this season? I personally think he's leaving, even if we do.
I think he's gone either way, personally. Yeah. I went into the season thinking this was his last season, regardless of any success. Yeah. And I stick by it. I stick by my prediction. I'm knocking on wood right now that they will finish with at least one trophy this season. I think whether they win a trophy or not, though, I think he is gone. I'd be very pleasantly surprised if he wasn't, personally. And I'm not advocating to get rid of him anytime soon. I like the guy, but I would be very surprised if he stays beyond the end of this season. Personally,
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised, but still surprised.
Yeah, me too. How about you, Chris? Any other thoughts to that? Same thing, same feeling.
Yeah.
So who's that? So let me ask you guys this: who's your ideal Amorim replacement?
Oh, geez, Louise.
Abel Ferreira. I just wanted to say. I mean, I feel like everybody here would say Abel Ferreira signed a new contract with Palmeiras.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much been priced out of Abel Ferreira too.
Sergio Conceição.
Conceição, if things go really bad after the election.
Also, I just need to add, it's really like, it's funny with the Portuguese media. I'll eat my words if this somehow doesn't happen, but it's really funny that they're pretending like the Porto election is going to be anything other than
Pinta Costa.
Pinta Costa winning by 30 or more points.
Yeah. It's gonna be a circus along the way. Like, let's not get that twisted. But I would be very surprised if one, Pinta Costa loses, or two, if it's like really close, like within like 10% or less. Yeah. Like, I'd be very surprised. I still think Pinta Costa wins. I don't think it's gonna be like a gajillion fucking percent landslide, but I do think it's going to be like he probably wins by 15%.
We got more. Porto Noronha Lopes out here.
Yeah,
he literally. I mean, he's gonna. As much as I love the guy, I mean, Nuno Souza doesn't even count because he did you need to get at least like 30% probably to be considered like. That you like really like challenged really anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Nuno Souza offered an alternative and like, for example, like got them to have debates and like pushed the envelope, got them to like release plans and stuff. Yeah. That if they were just running unopposed, they would have just done none of those things.
Yeah.
Let's see if Villas Boas gets over 30%.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It'll be interesting to follow, even as a neutral, because it has already been, and they've barely started anything for elections. It's already been just a circus in more ways than one. But yeah, back to the topic at hand. Ideal replacements for Amorim, I think Conceição. I'm trying to think of who else like I would really like that would be like semi-realistic. Like, and nobody's Fonseca would be I really like Paulo Fonseca. I think he would be a fun one. I just don't know if we could afford him.
Nah, I don't think we'd be able to either. I'm just thinking George Men's guys right now, you know, like
I could see them going back to Carvalhal. It wouldn't be. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. I don't think that's a bad shout either, too, Rich, to be quite honest. Like, out of everybody out there.
There's a name that's going to drive me nuts if I don't think. He used to coach Olympiacos. I think he used to coach Marítimo at one point. Who?
Oh. Vitor Pereira?
Oh, I forgot about Vitor Pereira. That's not who I was thinking, but that's not a terrible shout. I don't
think he got a job since he got sacked from Flamengo.
Let me see.
You take over. I'm going to look up the name.
I know Leonardo Jardim?
Oh, I would love Leonardo Jardim back. That's not what I was thinking. I'll look up the coach. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Paul Bento, Mark Silva.
No, not Paul Bento. God.
I wouldn't mind Mark. There's no way we get Mark Silva, but I wouldn't mind Mark Silva.
Don't you dare put Paulo Bento evil on me.
I wouldn't mind. Pedro Martins, Rich.
Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. I could see them going after Pedro Martins.
Yeah. Where's he now? He is.
I last remember when
Olympiacos. Algarafa. Well, that's crazy.
So that's where the hell are they?
They're in Qatar.
Who the hell are they? Qatar. There you go.
Yeah, but Algarafa is a crazy name.
That's a great Portuguese name.
Portuguese, I rate that.
That's a great Portuguese name if we're being honest. Yeah, I could see them going after. I think the most likely ones would be Carvalhal and him. Outside shout maybe to Paul Fonseca, but I think he might. I think him and everybody else we might be a little priced out, depending on what we do in transfer business too in the summer, I suppose. If they decide to sell the farmer, they get like a crazy amount of cash for one or two guys. They might open up the purse strings a bit like they did for transfers this past year and pay out the nose for a coach. Who knows?
I'm even trying to think.
Pie in the sky would be
foreigners.
Mourinho, but that's never
That's
happening.
not
We
happening.
pissed.
That's not
We had our chance in the early 2000s, and Sporting Gijs.
No, I mean,
ruined that.
I'm not saying it's not a possible. I mean, I think at this point he would come back to Portugal faster than going to Saudi.
But he would go to literally anybody else except us.
No. I think he'd still come to, especially Sporting the way it's run now. If we're winning titles too, I think he can come to Sporting.
You think?
I just don't think he would accept Portugal at this point. I think maybe he would go to Brazil or a national team.
I'd love
or
to see
Porto.
him. I'd love to see him in Brazil.
Other than Porto, yeah.
I'd love to see him in Brazil, even if it's just for a club team. I think he would have a lot of fun there.
I wouldn't, man. He needs to be still in the top of the top.
But yeah,
and in Brazil, he would die in Brazil, bro. The amount he would incite riots with rival fans.
Oh, he would have. You know what though? Like it'd be great entertainment. It'd be like Patrick. It'd be like Patrick Wall going to the Islanders. It's gonna crash. You know, it's gonna end as a crash and burn, but you're gonna be there for the ride. The friends we're gonna make along the way will be fantastic.
Facts. Chris, a different question still on this topic, and then I'll ask the next one. Where do you see Amorim going? And Rich, I'll ask you as well. To me, 3 clubs scream at me, but
I'll let you guys.
Manchester United obviously is probably.
Yeah. I could see United. That's who I'm thinking off the bat.
I'm thinking even PSG. His father-in-law is there.
They need a new manager.
They need a
lot.
And then obviously I think Chelsea is
I also could see one of the underperforming historically powerful Spanish teams, such as Sevilla, Villarreal, Valencia, one of those maybe.
Yeah, I could see him for a traditional mid to upper third table team in Spain too, potentially.
With Turin Giants in the chat, I can see Juve, but I mean they're in a title race with Inter this year, so I don't know how much.
Italian title race is tight this year, actually. So
yeah, it's tight this year. I could see him going to one of the bigger Italian clubs. Mm-hmm. I think the last week was the first time I mentioned it, but I was like, it's kind of weird that he keeps putting like trophy pressure on them, and then yesterday he dropped like the Vulimbada. If like. He just keeps ramping up the pressure in like a way that he just has never really done before.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think those teams might be, at least at this moment, kind of the favored ones or the expected ones. But
only other team I can think of that's not on this list. Other than like a Saudi team, which who knows, maybe.
Nah, I really couldn't even.
I don't see it either.
I'd be very surprised
Money
by
talks,
that.
right?
Yeah,
Money talks.
True.
Yeah. Everybody's got a price.
I could see Newcastle. Newcastle underperforming this season. You know.
I could see a Newcastle. I know Liverpool's gonna be looking for a head coach, so I wouldn't put them.
But that's Xabi. That's Xabi Alonso.
But I think that job. I think that job is pretty much earmarked for Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see him going to Bundesliga personally. I think it's just
maybe he takes over Bayer Leverkusen. Maybe
as Xabi goes through what we assume would be Liverpool. Yeah, maybe. I think
he is on like $6 million a year. Is like Bayer Leverkusen really going to pay more than that?
Or the pharmaceutical company going to pay that? Who knows? Can't root for a pharmacy, lad.
Next question from Paul Rodriguez, and I'll try.
By the way, I had to do like a project in college one time. I literally don't. I think it was like history of sport was the class.
Nice.
And we were doing stuff on like football clubs, and we literally got assigned clubs, and mine was Bayer Leverkusen. And like the Germans have like such strict laws about like corporations and like ownership.
Oh, it's very strict.
But then for Bayer Leverkusen, they're just like, it doesn't count.
Yeah. And
they made so many exceptions for them. Because like they totally violates like every rule, and they're just like,
Same with Red Bull, right?
Yeah, same with Red Bull. They're just
Red Bull gets around it by saying like, like we're fan owned, but they're all on the half of them are all on the Red Bull board or something crazy. So
and they're not called Red Bull. They're called
RB Leipzig.
Rasenball Sport.
Rasenball Sport Leipzig. Yeah. I think the only they're the only one that's not like technically explicitly Red Bull, because like I think Red Bull like New York, Red Bull Bragantino in like Brazil, I think like all the Apple piece of ketchup sponsored by Coca-Cola. Yeah, they're like the only team I think of the Red Bull teams that isn't technically called Red Bull, which is hilarious. Literally just because the German law like will not allow it. Yeah, because I remember Bayer Leverkusen had to literally be like grandfathered in for that. Same with like Wolfsburg was owned by Volkswagen. Like people forget that like they are literally owned by Volkswagen, but they're not called like Volkswagen FC or anything. So yeah, I know there's a couple German clubs that kind of sort of had to be grandfathered in. Just Bayer Leverkusen's the most kind of explicit one because they are literally named after a pharmaceutical company. So, but they've been around for years and years and years. Like they're old.
Pfizer FC coming to the MLS.
Pfizer FC coming to a pitch near you.
Coming to a pitch near you. Next question comes in from Paul Rodriguez, and I'm gonna sort of incorporate it with. I mean, there was murmurs that it was official at least. He asks, how disappointed are you in the January transfer window? Let me just pinch this by saying, what's his name? Codendri or whatever his name is. Condretti from Estoril by way of Valencia. Seems like we activated the $3 million release clause.
Estoril did.
Estoril did. Right. And then we're gonna buy.
And
then we're gonna pay $4 million basically.
Yeah, so Estoril will pocket $1 million off of the transfer at the end of the day.
Middleman.
This was
literally the ultimate middlemen here. They're like, we will buy this player, so then you can buy him immediately.
I mean, hey, they got a mill. They got a mill from it. I hear it. Not bad.
Yeah,
like for a club like Estoril.
It's no small change for them. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, Rich, what were your thoughts? You think this is a good signing? And just overall, were you expecting more in January? We also got Raphael from Les Changes. He seems okay.
It seems like the signings this year were kind of depth / project signings, which I'm never like.
Benfica spent like $40 million.
Yeah, which I'm not like against. I would have liked like maybe one or two more, I guess, sexy signings you could call them, like just something a bit more flashy or with substance. There just wasn't much out there for them, I guess, right?
Two projects, that's really it.
There was two products. There wasn't really much. Like they didn't really kick tires. There wasn't really much out there, anyways. Like January transfer windows are always kind of tricky. So like I also get the hesitancy of like you buy a guy in January, it's a lot tougher to integrate him as opposed to when he has like a whole preseason or most of a preseason or something, or even earlier on. I give it like a C. They could have done a better. They could have done nothing. That's why. So I'll give them like a C+, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things. It's two project players. We'll see what happens. I mean, they seem like decent players. We've been hearing a lot of good things, especially about Condretti. So that's positive. And I guess it's just depth signings for as the season goes on, in case someone gets hurt, in case there's a lot of garbage minutes all of a sudden and they want to rest a guy. Like it's never a bad thing. Yeah, we'll see. There's not much for me on this.
I've seen Condretti play against Braga in the final. That might have been the first, other than like a few highlights here and there. That might have been the first time I really like sat down and actually watched him. Yeah. And he was okay, but I mean, I remember having the same feeling about Morita, you know what I mean? And then Morita is what he is, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's exactly that. It's a depth signing. I don't mind the inactiveness in January. I mean, realistically, I think the main thing we need is a keeper. And we're not getting a starting keeper.
We're not getting a keeper this window. Like anybody who thought that was going to happen is delusional.
Yeah, exactly. And I also don't, because the team is doing well too. I also agree with the board's decision to not make many transfers because you don't want to unsettle the team or have players worrying about their positions or anything like that in jeopardy.
For sure.
We still have players coming back from injury like Fresneda. We still have like we mentioned, St. Juste. We have Diomande coming back. We have Morita coming back. We just got Jenny back. So there's no reason to be buying a lot more. I'm not sure if Paul Rodriguez was expecting us to really go in January, especially with no outgoings. There's no reason to. If I were to give it a grade, bro, to me it's an A because we did what we needed to do in the summer. So I think that's the more important thing here. If we were looking to change the squad around a lot in January, like our rivals did, it means that something's gone wrong. And I mean, so far so good, right? Can't complain too much. And yeah, Chris, what about you? Any thoughts on this signing and this January in general?
Yeah, I haven't seen him play enough to really make any sort of judgment on him. Kind of like Raphael, kind of seems like they'll be added to the first team. But like there's not like, I guess if needed, they'll be called upon. It seems like maybe Asugu will be on the way out. I don't know anymore because he did play yesterday.
He played yesterday, and the rumors of him going because he was rumored to go on loan to Shaw. Those kind of died down in a hurry. So
yeah, Nuno Moreira did get loaned out though. So I mean, I was thinking maybe he was gonna occupy like the Asugu role, which is like midfielder, like 4 or 5. You know, maybe he'll play a couple 100 minutes between now and the end of the season. We'll see, I suppose. Decent prospect, decent background. Yeah, I mean, as far as January goes, like we were not really a club that really gets that busy in January, to be honest.
Not traditionally,
historically, yeah. But it is certainly interesting to see our rivals pretty much going all in. So, you know, the pressure, I would say, is definitely more so on them to pull it out.
They're expected to perform now.
Spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see how it pans out for them. Marcus Leonardo already has 3 goals, but he also has a lot of misses in the most important of the games that he's played.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it pans out for them. Also, you're gonna get like 10 million from Musa. It seems like.
Yeah. Musa going to
Dallas.
So yeah, I would say that it would have been nice to maybe get like 1 or 2, like actual signings. But
yeah, I'd agree with that.
It is what it is. Just they're, viewing, projecting, I suppose is the right word, like a record summer sales.
That's what it seems like. Even if they only make like 1 or like 2,
which is maybe why it would have been nice to maybe like spend 8 million on an actual reinforcement.
Yeah, if you're gonna make like
lead them in now,
especially since probably at least 200 million is coming in the summer.
Yeah. You're getting like between 1 and 200 million, like minimum at least. I'm assuming if 2 or 3 guys go.
So yeah, I mean, it's slightly disappointing, but I still think we have the squad that can do it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Last thing on the transfer news, a player I really wanted.
Also, hopefully no one leaves.
Danny.
hopefully no one leaves tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully no one's gone tomorrow. A player who has been rumored long to come back to Portugal for a team in green and white stripes. Danny, take it away.
Bang.
Bang.
I just looked it up. We play them February 25th. He's finally got his dream move.
Is that at the Alvalade or in?
That's in Vila de Conde. That's in Rio Ave.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only issue there. Rio Ave currently, if I'm not mistaken, they're in the relegation playoff zone. 3 points ahead of Vizela.
There might not be always next year then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're 1 point behind Estoril, 2 behind.
That relegation drop is going to shift a lot in the next months.
Yeah, Boavista's getting money. Boavista's in 12th right now in 20 points.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll start performing. Who knows? Now that they're getting money, maybe they won't perform.
That relegation zone is going to shift a lot, I imagine, between now and the end of the season. It's going to be a circus.
Yeah. Now, I was going to ask, do you think but he's playing at home, but with the Sporting fans traveling to Vila de Conde, what sort of reception do you guys anticipate him getting?
Mixed. I think some people. I think he'll get a few cheers. I think he'll get decent smattering of whistles or boos.
Yeah.
But I think a few people will cheer, and like that, I've been different. Like
I
I
wish-
really liked that. I'm gonna press this. I really liked Adrian when he was here. He was one of my favorite players.
Same.
He he deserved more trophies than he won. We could say there have been a lot of guys for Sporting over the last like 30 years.
Yeah.
I think how he left a bit of a sour taste. But there's been guys who have
Yeah.
burned bridges way worse than him. Let's remember that.
Yeah.
I'm not
how we left.
super pleased with how he left. I think there was some more behind the scenes than we're privy to, especially with the administration at that time being kind of known to be loose cannons.
Yeah, but he was a loose cannon when he went to Record and started saying after the year we lost the league when we were up, and going on Record saying, you know, if I were to leave tomorrow, Sporting fans shouldn't be upset at me, blah 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 blah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're trying to force
it was bad. It was bad timing too, right? It was just bad timing. He could have worded it way better.
As a captain too, he's the captain. You don't see Bruno Fernandes had a lot more pull than Adrian. Bruno Fernandes didn't do that. And Coates hasn't done that. Who was captain before Adrian? I mean, like that was a sort of stab in the back.
Moutinho pulled some
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. That's the sort of stab in the back that Moutinho sort of did. Obviously,
it's not João Moutinho. It's not João Moutinho for sure. Levels of
but still, you're the captain of a club. You have to. It's even if you want to leave, there's ways to go about it.
There's a time and place for everything to say certain things too. It's how you phrase certain things too. Like he could have phrased that a bit better, and it probably comes out.
There's Liverpool fans that despise Steven Gerrard, and he didn't do anything near of what Adrian did at the time. No. You know what I mean? So I think he's in his right to get some boos. I kind of wished it was at Alvalade. I'm not gonna lie.
He's gonna get some boos. I expect maybe a couple cheers. I think it's gonna be a mixed to semi-negative reaction if I'm.
Yeah, I agree. But I think if it was at Alvalade, that would have been better because I'm sure Varandas would have done some sort of tribute to him. And then as he's doing the tribute,
it wouldn't have shocked if they did like something mid-game or like pre-game rather. Yeah, it wouldn't come as a total shock, but
maybe next year we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. I don't know if they're still in the Tasa. If they're still in the Tasa, maybe then who knows?
I don't think they're in the
Tasa
anymore.
But yeah, I mean, good for him. His career's still going. He played in Qatar for a few years, right? And like you said, Rich, he really wanted to move to a green and white club in Portugal. He got his move. Big up for him.
Green and white club in stripes.
In stripes.
The wrong stripes, if you're thinking about it. Not the stripes you might have been hoping for. Let's put it that way.
Not the horizontal stripes, but the vertical ones. Whatever. You can take it, I guess.
You want to lead with fantasy? Or
let me do fantasy, and then I'll pass it off to you in terms of the predictions. So fantasy this week, I dropped down to third in Canada. I'm devastated by that, by the way. Devastated. But Sam had a big week. I think that's why he's not missing.
Week from Sam. Kicked all of our asses.
That's why he's missing today. He wants us to relish in his glory. You know, left no points on the bench. Maybe
he left 8 points. He left 4 points on the bench. Realistically,
Nuno Santos with 11 points. His Porto boys got let him down a bit there. Carlinhos, but up top he destroyed it.
Really
get his captain. He's also like you. He had Edwards, only got 2 points.
Well, I had Edwards in predictions. I don't have him in fantasy.
Oh, my fault.
But yeah,
that's Sam. Let me just see real quick here. Still about 200 points to go. You maybe 100.
I'm starting to gain another whole point on Chris. Look out.
A whole point on
really
Chris.
Let me down. I forgot about Bonza.
Been injured.
So I left points because of Bonza. Yeah, that
could have been a lot more, brother.
I know. That's like the third week in a row where my bench has screwed me. I forgot about Bonza. I thought I subbed Bonza out too because I was like, I don't think he's playing this week. And I forgot to hit save on that one. So that's at least 10 right off the bat. And then go back to my bench real quick.
Yeah. Dominguez.
I left another 3. I left another 3 on
the other Ishikayu. Marcelo's been solid though. I think I might pick him up then.
That's been one of my better pickups actually. Is Marcelo. He's been consistent, and Mateus Oliveira I've kept for most seasons been somewhat consistent as well when I've had to sub him in.
Yeah.
which is good. Juste still kind of get me points here and there, but
yeah. Moving on to Chris here, 70 points. So yeah, you're about 60 points behind Chris.
I've cut my deficit officially like past half now, I think.
Yeah.
From what it was at one point.
Solid.
He also had Bonds as well. Both of us. Top. Both of us. Oh.
But even Nielsen was huge. Borja with 0 points. Marcelo on the bench, Chris.
Marcelo and I think one of your midfielders.
I'm getting 6 back because that's gonna sub.
Actually
no. No, they played him. Do they play tomorrow?
Somebody plays tomorrow. Yes, they do play tomorrow.
Okay, so it's not just for sure that I'm gonna get it to 6 then.
Okay.
True, I forgot about those.
So you could pull back away.
Also, Riwa Vistorial. You don't have any Riwa boys though, or Vistorial boys. Did you have any Rich?
Riwa Vistorial boys?
No, Roca.
No, it's just another hookah boy. That's all.
Yeah, this is my team still in first.
One day we'll be able to have some Beta Mar boys in there again, hopefully.
Yeah, I goofed on Banza.
So we all goofed on Banza this week at least.
Maybe he plays tomorrow, but I think he's still injured, right?
Yeah.
Costinha maybe will get me some points tomorrow. Let's hope.
Costinha banger.
Incoming.
Yeah. Watch.
But yeah, this is the team devastated, down to third.
Was second, like a handful of points behind.
Oof, 6 points in front.
Oh, that first place put up a friggin' monster week. Holy smokes.
Bozo.
Jesus.
Yeah, my boy Muraj, my cousin, but he's about to leave, I think. So, all right, we can make up ground. Hopefully, he forgot about this team.
For sure.
Probably not because he's in first, which means he's paying attention. But yeah, that is the league table as stands. I'm still in first. Chris still in second. Rich is getting closer, but he's still in third. And then Sam with a monster week, still in last. Rich, take it away with the predictions, brother.
I'm going to share my screen. Can you guys see that?
Let me bring it up here. There it is.
You can see what I'm sharing?
Yeah, I got it now.
Beauty. Okay, so as we move down here.
Guys, I had predicted 8-0. I just
it glitched. Danny gets a big old fucking
donut. It was a busy day yesterday. I fucked up.
Yeah, I almost forgot about him too, and then I was like, boys, predictions. Chris with a 2-0 got Trincao and Edwards, so he gets points for the win and point each for the goal scorer. I get 2 points for the goal scorers, point for the right result. Sam gets Sam only gets 2 points actually. Oh, I fucked up there because he only got 2 of
the right.
One goal
Bro
scorer.
Said rage.
Bro said, yeah, I ripped him.
That's why Sam's not in today.
Yeah, he said Mateo Rage. The first thing I hit him with like the Drake in the chat. I was like, Drake? What are you doing? He's like, he's gonna go off. Oh my god, I don't know, Chief. So only 2 points for Sam, 3 points for Chris and I each. So let me actually update Sam to 42 points. So Chris and I still tied for first for like the third or fourth week running now. 50 apiece. Sam at 42. Danny lagging a little behind at 38, but there's still plenty of league games and at least 2 Europa League games and a TASA game to boot. Let me stop sharing.
Whoa, that was
I was sharing my whole screen. Yeah, I realized that was not a smart idea to switch tabs then. But yeah, so we're pretty a lot of games still. Like we're only just past halfway in the league fixtures.
Yeah.
Minimum 2 Europa League. We've got at least one more TASA game. We're hoping that we get an extra, 3 or 4 out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So still lots to predict, lots to play for sure.
Facts. We'll move on to Moodley Dodge before ending off the show. I just know the U23 today slapped Benfica.
Oh, did they?
We love to see 5-2.
Excellent. Big win. Excellent. Any day Benfica loses is a good day.
Absolutely.
That's how
no matter what it is.
Any day.
Chris, I'll let you take it away. I know there was some basketball results and all of that.
Yeah, basketball advanced in the Taça de Portugal at the weekend. And they also won for the European competition at midweek this past week. They're in third in the group, but they're tied. Second and third are tied. Okay. So there's 2 games left in the group, so they still have a chance to advance.
They got a lot to play for.
Yeah, I think their win this past week was against the last place team at home, so it had to be a win.
Yeah.
The points are kind of weird because you get a point, basically get a participation point.
Really?
Yeah, you get a point for just playing a game, which is
Well,
kind of
love
funny.
that.
stupid. That's worse than the NHL.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you gotta
and
be
you
the
don't
worst in the
even you don't
NHL.
get
I
3
love that.
points for a win either. You only get 2. So it is kind of hard to make up ground. I'll be honest.
Because everyone's at least getting a point minimum every week.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, it's kind of whack, but it is
That's
what it is.
weird. Fix your FIBA, fix your stuff. Fix your
Yeah, basketball's really the only sport, and even in the league
Yeah.
play, the wins are only 2 points as opposed to 3. It's kind of odd.
Yeah.
But yeah, nonetheless, hockey European competition tie this week, match day 4. They're in the same group as Benfica, and they both have the same amount of points, and they're tied. I think they both have 9, and then second is and then they both have 9, and then third is 5. So they're in good position to advance in rink hockey or roller hockey, Champions League as well. Futsal 1, advance for the Taça de Portugal.
Yeah.
The one that's not going that well is women's footy. 2 straight draws. The thing
Women's
is
footy hasn't been going well since inception, Brian. Since that first 2 years, maybe.
Anything since just past COVID, basically, or since COVID kind of ended is when it's been.
Since Benfica's joined the league, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
When it was just us and Braga, we could kind of be pretty underwhelming and still be second. Yeah. So I mean, but the thing is Braga hasn't been that great this season either, and we're still 2 points ahead of them. We're 1 point behind Benfica, and they have a game in hand, right? So we'll probably
going to be 4 points behind.
But I mean, we dropped a handful of points. We got smoked by them head to head. I mean, it feels like they should be 10 points up on us, but
yeah.
So it's not. It could be worse, I suppose, but yeah, it's definitely not.
They're a little fortunate that it's as close as it is standings wise, I think.
Yeah. No handball because of the Euro, so they're still on a little bit of a break, I suppose. And I'm trying to think if there's any others. I think that's pretty much all of. The disappointing one, B team, 2 weekends ago or last weekend. Well, 2 weekends ago because this last weekend was the one that was 3 days ago. So the weekend before that one, they lost. And they were in 4th out of 10. Top 4 go to the playoff for promotion. Bottom 6 go to the relegation playoff. They were in 4th. They lost. It dropped them to 5th going into the last game of the season, which was this past weekend.
Yeah.
So they didn't control their own destiny. They won.
But
they, in Sporting Cuvia, lost. But they both finished on 30 points. And Sporting ended up missing out, finishing 5th on goal difference. So they'll be playing in the relegation group again. Which it's very, very what's the word I'm looking for? Risky, I want to say, because you get put into groups of 4. Top 2 stay, bottom 2 get relegated.
So 50% are going up.
It's a 50% chance in your group that you're going to get relegated. And then it's a lot of work to get back up to League of 3 again.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I was just hoping that we avoided that mess because, again, last season, match day 6 of the relegation group was when we ultimately stayed up on the last day.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's just not do that again, but we're going to be doing it again.
Probably looks like,
Vitória de Setúbal ended up getting fucked and went down.
Yeah.
We stayed up at the expense of Vitória de Setúbal. So, yeah, I mean, we'll probably come down on the last game again. So, hope we stay up.
Yeah.
Would have been nice to test ourselves in the promotion group, see how close we actually got, see if we could do it. But instead, we'll be fighting for our lives again. Hope we stay up. And I think that's the actual end of the updates now.
Amorim spoke on that, and he was saying that and I mean, he's not wrong, but he's saying the main objective for the B team is have players ready for the A team.
Yeah.
But with that being said,
it helps to have them be able to
It
play at
helps to
Liga
have
3
them
versus
be in like
Campeonato
Liga 3
Portugal.
or Liga
exactly.
Segunda
And then it's
Liga.
much better experience to have them even in the second division if they were
Yeah.
to so far make
If you
it
can
there,
have them in the actual
as
like
opposed to
proper
third.
national leagues, it's just always going to be a bit better and a bit more a bit tougher opposition.
Kalai
obviously,
doesn't need to
right?
go out on loan to Fadens because they're already in the second division. you know?
Yeah,
Exactly.
right. Yeah, you don't have to
Exactly.
loan a guy to
him
Division
at
2
home.
because you already have like your third string guys in Division 2, hypothetically, right?
And those B team players, for the most part, aren't playing derbies because both teams are in the second division, right? So
You're not
by
playing
having
any
them
like
in
early and like semi-intense games, you could say.
even I remember B team derbies being still, a mini derby, but the pressure's still on. You know what I'm saying? So that's a shame there. I don't know if Felipe Silicaya keeps his job after this. I mean, I don't know personally, but how do you place them, right? But anyways, that's the show. Shout out to everybody who sent in Twitter questions and comments. I'm just gonna quickly share everybody's ad. I want to share one last thing before signing off. It's just an image I seen on Twitter just now. But of course, feel free to follow Chris there, myself here, Sam there. Shout out Sam. Rich, of course, there, and more importantly, AT Alvalade, all things Alvalade on all other platforms. Let me just share you guys this thing. If anybody's listening on Spotify or SoundCloud, get on the YouTube. But shout out to you. Because I don't know why SoundCloud always gets like 100 views. Shout out to SoundCloud
We'll take it.
listeners. There we go. That's what we're gonna end the show off with.
That is
Shout out Ricardo Gaio.
Oh, I feel like a worse person for having seen that.
And shout out Pong Demoniu as well.
Is that
Shout
probably
out
one
to you.
who's shared that? Brother. Someone
Amazing.
took like time, real tangible time out of their day.
So just
to
for
make that in
context,
Photoshop.
this is the tweet, right? So it's everybody basically with 7 and above, and then there's Ricardo Gaio.
Guy with his fucking
So then boom.
picture.
Amazing.
Someone took time out of their day and had to spend time in Photoshop or some sort of bootleg equivalent or free version to make that. That is unbelievable. That's great blending and everything by them, though. Like, good job. But like, how could you at the same time? Why?
We love that here.
Oh my word.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to another episode, boys and girls, of course, and non-binary and all of that.
Guys, gals, non-binary pals, wherever
there you
are.
go.
Thank you.
And yeah, see you in the next one. Doot.
Doot.